Hey, what's going on, everybody? And thanks for joining us again. It's Sunday football. Now, unfortunately, as you can probably tell, we're not live today. We have pre-recorded today's episode the Saturday before. Tonight is Saturday. We're getting ready for the weekend, and a few of us are competing tomorrow in a golf outing, and we need to keep you in the loop of what to expect for football, but also, we couldn't do it live. So with that being said, let's recap last week's football games, because truthfully, none of the picks went almost any way we forecasted. I think really, let's start with the Buccaneers and the Lions, because we expected Baker to look good. Yeah. And truthfully, he looked way better than we expected. We just expected good and a solid performance, but the Lions were going to humble him. Turns out that was not the case.
It was funny enough, at the bar, we were able to see both at the same time. It's kind of nice. Good football games on both channels. Solid. I'm most impressed by the defense for Tampa Bay.
Yes.
Tampa Bay and Cleveland, both really stout defenses. I saw a stat, and it was like 49% of
Jags.
Yeah, the Jags. Yeah, the Jags went for like either no yards or less yardage or loss.
Well,
it's like great.
I love that you make that point, because look at what else the Browns defense is up against. Like, Myles Garrett is legitimately out here being tackled. Brother Maggot, legitimately being tackled. No penalties. That's just
crazy. How do they not call that?
Right?
It's been like he's made a career out of that.
And what's even more astonishing is you'll see a guy who is getting triple teamed and is still a defensive threat. Yeah. At the same time, you want to look at the rest of your defense and go, hey, if they're using 3 of their offensive players to take on the defensive end, that should free up a lot more.
Yeah. Where's there one guy on their side taking up 3? That's what's going down. There's 2 epic battles at one time.
An epic offensive lineman that just grabs.
I like how it's like tune in for like expert football analysis, and we're just like, they're Titans. They're just taking them down.
So not only was that a surprise, but we had a whole diatribe on Kirk Cousins, and he's walking in
dripping like this. Big Kirk wakes up dripping like this.
He is walking in hot this week.
And you know what? Good for Kirk. I love that for him. But still, I'm not too high on that team. I think they'll do all right, but he played great. Philadelphia is weird. I don't know what to make of them. I really don't know what to make of them.
Well, especially because they have the pieces, but then there's just days where they show up totally deflated.
You're kind of seeing the quarterback head coach issue there. It was kind of brought up like near the end of last year. I really wonder if that's lingering, but I mean, again, kudos to Kirk Cousins and the Falcons. They're really able to pull one out of them.
Which, again, an impressive week for them, because
it's still a great streak of great primetime games.
Yes,
really haven't had a dud.
Weekend.
Haven't had a dud yet. 2 weeks into the year.
So the Chargers are looking smoking hot. That's going to be tough. It was funny. I honestly, what is the one thing I said last week? This will be telling for the Saints. This will be telling, if they could hold their own against the Cowboys, and you were like, no, Cowboys, they're a solid team. It's going to be a tough uphill battle, and they probably won't show up. Woo, 44-19.
I still think Dallas is a solid team, but it is so funny the week before against, they literally just flipped the script. Yeah. They literally will flip the coin. It's like, this week, you're there.
Yes.
Next week, you're over there.
And let's admit, the Cowboys are still a very solid team, right? They're going to be rolling into this next week.
Philadelphia, like you said, on paper, it's like they're a solid team.
Solid team.
They'll figure it out. Just bad week.
Bad week. But also good week for the Saints. We'll get to some of our picks today, but Kemp being confident in Kamara's performance and how the Saints are going to be doing this week. That's a fair take when they showed up strong this past week.
Kamara had Derek Carr. Derek Carr, you know what? This is his revival. I think he's coming back stronger than ever. And as long as he stays healthy, I think they have a run. I think they're going to make the playoffs. I can't speak on behalf of farther than that, but I think they're going to make the playoffs.
We're week 2 going to week 3 of the NFL, and the MVP conversation is Derek Carr, Sam Darnold, and Baker Mayfield.
Did you expect that?
No. I don't think many people did. Sam Darnold is the biggest wild card, which, I mean, kudos to him, playing great.
Well, it speaks to how, that's a quarterback class that ferments like a fine wine.
Except Josh Rosen.
Well,
what happened to that guy?
Fall off hard.
I think he's selling insurance right now.
Hey, best car salesman probably at that dealership.
It's just sad, coming into this week, the Browns could get a win.
Actually, no, roast me. You could go ahead and roast me. Talk about the Baltimore game.
Talk
about the Baltimore game.
All right, so
I so bold. I was like 10-point win for Baltimore. It's gonna be. Come on. And you were like, no, I think Gardner Minshew and the Raiders. I was like, that's cute. That's cute. 10-point win. They lost the first week. I was watching that ticker for that game, and I was like, oh, they're all gonna think I'm idiots. They're gonna think I'm an idiot. This guy doesn't know what he's saying.
And especially 26-23, and most of the Ravens scores were Tucker kicking it in.
Yeah. I saw a thing too. He's missing. Kemp, you might know this. This would be a weird stat. You would know. How many kicks has he missed this year? Just the one?
So the stat that they kept bringing up is that he within 50, he's good.
He's automatic. Yeah.
Automatic. But after 50, he was 1 for 7.
Yeah. Something like that.
Nature.
Like, you see memes 7? And stuff. And I've seen them. They're like, is Justin Tucker washed? I was like, yeah, I know. He's been at this for so long. The 50-yarders is now starting to become a problem.
Yeah.
Now he's hit so many legendary kicks his whole career.
The whole
two
league
missed this season.
Yeah.
Beyond 50, but beyond. So I won't
he had
give
a big one last week.
Cleveland Browns daily. I give them credit, Bo and Nathan. But they said the rest of the NFL beyond Justin, beyond 50 yards is 35 for 37.
That's crazy.
Which is crazy. 35 for 37 field goals.
I was listening to something
of that nature. Like, beyond 50, it seems like it's
and
automatic.
And
Justin's missed 2.
They were saying before the Raiders game, he was just in practice dunking 70 yards.
Yeah.
70 yards.
Yeah. He just gets the yip. He gets a little frightened. He's a little shy out there plus 50 this year. He'll figure it out.
Honestly, I can't score all of it. It's not like I missed all of them today.
Phil Dawson could. He would have.
Right.
He would have dunked that thing through there.
Phil Dawson, Jimmy Donovan going into the Hall of Fame. Browns legends.
Did see that.
So that was a tough one. Here's what's crazy: Bengals. They didn't impress anybody, but who's gonna acknowledge they did so much better than I think any of us expected?
I've always heard this about Joe Burrow. He's not good in September. And then Colin Cowherd always says, he's like, the instant pumpkin spice lattes are available nationwide. That's when Joe Burrow turns it on, which I'm pretty sure they're already available. I mean, I go there all the time, but it's such a funny stat.
I love that.
I look into it. I'm like, yeah, it kind of does turn it up. But that game, again, the Chiefs, they had the 12th man and it was wearing his stripes.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He was wearing those stripes.
Man, the refs played ball.
Yeah, but boy, hey, they suited up big time.
And what's funny is why is it locally oriented like that? Why can we know that you are going to have a referee advantage in Arrowhead when apparently it's this randomly drawn independent organization, so it should be cycled through different referees go there. How are they consistently getting that edge only in this locale?
Yeah, can we vet these guys? Can we just kind of get into their background a little bit? But that, what, honestly, you want to know truthfully what I think it is in recent years? It's what red lips add to viewership. Taylor Swift's at that game.
Yeah,
that's the 13th man. That's the 13th man. You're outnumbered.
The 13th woman. She's a strong independent, and she brings the fierce.
All right, let's bring it back to football. Let's bring it back to football. No, I mean it was a good game. Burrow looked like Burrow. Oh, he looked like Burrow. I think that's a team. I don't know what the stat is. It's teams that start 0-2. What percent make the playoffs, and then
I was worried. So I got him on one of my fantasy teams. I was worried about the risk thing, and he played all right. I mean, he came out. Fine. Yeah, he played fine. So I wasn't worried about it. He is a slow starter.
It's a rough start too when you lose week 1 to a team you probably should have beat and then you play the
Correct.
Chiefs week
He'll
2
come back.
in Arrowhead.
Again,
Like that can't be optimal for you.
Aside from the blonde hair, I'm not too worried about Joe Burrow.
You're not a fan of
Not
it.
worried yet.
Yeah, we got boy band Joe Burrow
hair
this year, and I'm feeling a little queasy on this one.
Well, going to the later games on Sunday, the Broncos got a little bit of a beat down from the Steelers. It wasn't that big of a scoring game, but I just loved this post-game conference with Bo Nix.
Oh, can you take us through the interception in the end zone?
Yeah. Drop back, do it to the other team.
I kind of love him for that. What a dumb question, though. Like, honestly, like, hey, like a UFC fighter. Hey, why'd you get knocked out? He hit me. Like, what? Yeah, come on, dude. Like, how did you feel about that pick? Not good. Next question. Thank you.
So, going into some of the things that have changed this week, should we get into an injury report? Because one of the things I want to ask you guys is, I'm still juggling the CJ Stroud versus Baker issue going into another weekend. Last week, Baker boy next to me tells me to play CJ Stroud over Baker. He loses another 7-8 points to Baker again. So I'm sitting here low-key wanting to play Baker, but I just don't.
How much better did he do fantasy-wise?
Like I said, like 7 points.
Really?
Yeah, it was like
well,
it was like
the
18, 19 to like 24, 25.
It was the rushing touchdown.
Yeah. That's a huge one.
I actually, Kev, if you can, or Alex, pull up the video of Baker. Someone asked him, they're like, "Hey, what do you think of like your 11-yard touchdown run was like the longest of your career?" And just like for Baker's reaction is so priceless, especially like considering his draft class and the rushers that are like in that one.
Was that recently?
Yeah. It should be this one.
Career long as well. Career long touchdown.
Is it really 11 yards? That's so sad.
You look into in the future.
That's so sad.
You got to think you're in the draft class with Lamar Jackson. With Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen.
Well, what's Lamar's longest run? I would touchdown.
I would.
I mean, I know
to know that.
He had the crazy 50-yarder.
Yeah, I think he had
from the
like
Bengals. I know that.
Like his rookie year or something like that.
Longest run or
Jackson's
longest
touchdown run?
Rushing touchdown.
Touchdown run.
And then Baker, year 6, 11 yards. That's so sad.
That's so sad.
79
yards.
Yeah, I was like, I'm pretty sure he did that his rookie year. Or like his first year starting.
At least up there.
Yeah.
It was. I'm sure it was definitely up there with it.
79 yards, year 6, 11. It's so sad.
All right. So a thing that we're going to add to each week, a little fun anecdote, is everybody in the studio is going to pick one parlay piece that they think is definitely going to hit. And we're going to go through. And before we introduce what our parlay for the week is going to be, and we're going to put $5 down and see what that gets us each week. And maybe as we build up, we might be able to double down and add more to it. But before we do that, I think we should break down what we can anticipate for the games this week. That being said, the injury report. So important ones to keep in mind. You've got Jordan Love. Tua's out. Tua's out. Justin Herbert.
Whoa, go to Herbert's. Is he out? Or
told reports that he suffered a high ankle sprain in week 2. He's listed as questionable and is considered to be a game time decision. An already bad passing attack will be non-existent if he isn't able to give it a go. Big hits here.
Mixon, he's out for me. And Walker.
Oof,
I have both of them. I have 2 leagues. I got them in both.
Will and I have very similar rosters on fantasy.
And you're all gimping to the finals.
Rude.
I don't have Mixon, but I got
we were gimping out the starting gates.
Raheem Mostert, that's a big one. Spears, hey, whatever. Looking at the Tennessee Titans.
AJ Brown still out, huh?
Yeah, AJ Brown, that's a big one. Debo Samuel, another big loss for a lot of fantasy rosters. T. Higgins, Keenan Allen, Jordan Addison, that one's been a tough one for me. Michael Pittman. Kemp's been struggling with George Kittle.
Kittle's out too. Man,
another brutal blow.
I had Kittle on my bench.
He's going to be missing week Kelsey 3 with a hamstring injury.
It was kind of
wow. Njoku.
Yeah, what? Njoku has been ruled out for week 3. I mean, that was a heck of a.
Yeah. Well, this was no surprise.
Yeah.
No surprise.
Yeah. Woo!
just shoot him up.
Yeah.
Get him out there.
Get whatever they're putting in Biden, just jack him up with it and
Just
send him out there.
We need you for 3 hours.
All right, so there's some big injuries to keep in mind. Ricky wasn't able to join us from Just Another Day TV live because we're doing it on a different day here. So he sent us his picks going into week 3. So taking a look here, this is these are some of Ricky's picks. Starting off Thursday, we already got the score. The Jets delivered it to the Patriots, and that was a pretty great game. Happy for the Jets because they've been long overdue for it. Looking at the 1 o'clock games, man, the Browns better bring this W. If they don't, it's just going to be a darn shame.
Well, it's kind of nice, though, for Deshaun giving it, you got Denver. You got New York this week and Denver next week. You kind of have 3 preseason games after week 1.
Right.
Because then the gauntlet starts. Then we got about 2.5 months of just tough football.
So catch that rhythm, or else
kind of get into a rhythm. You got 2 games to do it,
or else you're gonna get steamrolled.
Build off of last week, and because if you look like Dallas against New York, if we lose to Daniel Jones, oh my god,
oh my goodness. One other one before we get into all of the picks for this week is I'm looking at the Bears and the Colts, and that's what reminded me of one other quick clip I had on deck for us. Matt LaFleur, he had posted breaking news, had posted a quote. I asked Malik why he didn't throw the ball on 3rd down. Let's play this clip.
Oh, I did see this one, yeah.
Said he told me if the ball was covered in throw up. Yeah, he went to go throw the ball. He couldn't because it was soaked. You probably missed it. Let's roll this back real quick. All over the ball and then snaps it.
You know what? Ohio State centers. Josh Myers from Ohio State.
Yeah. What are they feeding them boys?
All right, and just the Colts game, it reminded me of
that's a play, funny enough, of all the plays he's had in his career, he'll remember that one.
Oh, yeah.
You're like, yeah, ball was fine, ball not fine.
I'm sure if it was me, I'd be running gagging. The smell
I'll be honest, he wasn't sniffing much. He was huffing and puffing, dude. He didn't stop mid-play, just, what the hell?
Well, I don't think he's sniffing it. I think that's a strong aroma, like a skunk. And it's probably just, I don't know. Anyway.
He saw it happen, too. He's like, all right, bring it. Whoa. Whoa, what do we have here?
It's coming to me.
He lets it go by.
Yeah, pulls a jar. All right, looking at the Bears, the Colts. Ricky's got the Colts winning.
Same.
Really, the Bears have been looking pretty good. The Colts, I don't think, are that strong of a team.
I don't think
Caleb Williams.
The Bears look like they're being run by a rookie quarterback.
Caleb Williams not looking very good.
He's looking. He looks like a rookie, which is fine. He's 2 games in, but I think Anthony Richardson. I don't think that'll be the funnest game to watch. No. I think it's going to be a lot of sloppy looking football, but I think, it's rookies. It's I think every rookie is going to lose again this week. Honestly.
That being said, do you think Ricky's right? Do you think the Texans can pull one over on the Vikings?
Yeah, I do.
I think it's possible, but I don't know if I agree. The Vikings are a strong team right now. The Texans are a solid competitor, but I don't think they are the top pick going into that game. I don't know. What do you think?
I think I bet you the spread on that game is at most 2.5 favored for the Texans. I can't. It's going to be. I wanted this. You want to know what? This is a good week for Minnesota. This is are you a contender or a faker?
Sure.
Because I think Houston, regardless of the outcome of this week, is still a contender moving forward.
Oh, I agree entirely.
So for Minnesota, this kind of like Tampa's last week. It's you needed, this is a prove it game. You're going into Detroit. They beat in the playoffs. Are you like Baker? Are you actually a contender with this team, or are you kind of going to be a faker about it?
Right. Well, going on to the Eagles and the Saints, I think I'm going to double back on. I think the Saints have momentum. Ricky, I see what you're seeing there, but honestly, the Eagles have the pieces. They just can't seem to bring it to the finish line. Whereas the Saints, man, maybe ragtag, may not have all the parts, but kind of like the Browns, they will gimp to the finish line, and they looked strong last week. I have confidence, and they have all-stars. They may be alone, but they do have all-stars.
I'm gonna side against Ricky here with you. I think New Orleans, in New Orleans, they're playing hot. Philadelphia, there's something there. There's something with Philadelphia. I don't know. Like when it comes down to like crunch time, it really feels like a coin flip.
Yes.
It's either they're gonna make the big play at the end, or like they did in the first week, or they're not, like last week. So
that's a big point.
I mean, Saquon's drop, I mean, huge. Like 9 times out of 10, he catches that ball. That was the one he didn't. Like it was right in his hands.
Oh yeah. Well, and moving on to this next one, Chargers in the Steelers. I so badly want to just confidently throw the Chargers to the front because they're such a strong team right now. But the Steelers are that franchise, that team that just somehow seem to always squeeze it out, even when they really shouldn't. To me, the Chargers are the better team. They're going to come in strong, but man, the Steelers are one that they're going to make you earn it.
This is tough. I don't know if Herbert's playing. If Herbert's playing,
right,
I'm going to lead more to the Chargers.
That's so true.
But if he's not playing, it's Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's defense is stout. I don't know who the backup is out there in Los Angeles. Like you're 2-0 and you haven't scored an offensive touchdown. Like that is so Pittsburgh.
Kemp, you might be able to remember this too. Do either of you recall there was a week 1, I think it was quarterback, some position where it was a younger like rookie and he was not supposed to say he knew he was playing?
Oh, it was Jordan Mason. It was the running back for the 49ers.
Bingo.
Yeah.
So I only bring that up because that clearly is a culture of the strategy.
Yes.
Like hold out as long as you
yeah.
can. My heart tells me Herbert's probably playing and you're just waiting until the moment beforehand. I'm with Will. I think that definitely does come down to if Herbert's in the saddle.
And 100% does. That's the hardest one to pick on at the moment because Pittsburgh's defense will smother. You haven't scored an offensive touchdown yet and you're 2-0. I mean, that's so Pittsburgh.
Right.
Like that's your stout defense. It really comes down to the Herbert. If Herbert's playing, I'm going to give them the advantage over Pittsburgh.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Just a couple more 1:00 games. The Broncos and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm going Baker. Yeah. Baker's got momentum, and the Broncos ain't stopping that.
Well, once again, too, it's not even just that. I think these rookie quarterbacks really look like rookie quarterbacks. These are guys who are still getting their footing wet. And I haven't seen much of Bo Nix play. I haven't heard he's done bad. But I think you're looking at a team led by a rookie still getting their foot wet, and Baker's got a handle on that team. That's totally. Baker's team.
Totally. You know? Oh, yeah, and that's it. I've had a lot of conversations this week about how important the locker room chemistry is. You could have all the perfect pieces, but if the locker room chemistry is still tripping up, you're going to have nothing. It's going to be futile, and they have it.
If Tampa Bay loses that game, Baker had a bad day.
Yeah.
Like, that's really where I'm at.
I could agree with that totally. Green Bay and Tennessee. I'm gonna pitch this one to you, I guess.
I'm going Green Bay. I'm with Ricky on that. Will Levis. Will Levis is either really bad or he's him, but he's rarely him. So,
right.
And you just brought him up, Christ, Malik Davis.
Yeah,
he seems competent enough. Funny enough, he reminds me of like a Tyrod Taylor or Jacoby Brissett. He seems like he's probably going to be a really good backup, but he's a really good backup. Like that's the kind of guy you want to put out there on a Sunday.
Am I off base for classifying this as two moderate teams? Like, I don't think you're seeing any outshining.
They're moderate without Jordan Love. With Jordan Love, they're upgraded, but without Jordan Love, it's like they're just trying to stay afloat. It was like, Cam, help me out here. Baltimore's backup when Huntley. It's like Huntley.
Who signed with the Dolphins.
Nothing fantastic, but he's not bad. He's by no means
Huntley was a Pro Bowler 2 years ago.
Yeah. It's like this
and
is
you know what? We signed him as a Brown, but guess what? He just didn't wow us enough.
He's not Lamar, but if I got to throw him out there because Lamar's going to be out a month, I feel pretty good.
Oh yeah.
I feel all right. It'd be like if we were playing Jameis. It's like I feel fine.
Yeah. Yes.
Like I feel fine. Like,
if not better.
He should make some throws.
I agree. Looking at, do you think moving on to the 4:00 games, do you think the Panthers stand a chance against the Raiders?
No.
I don't.
I think no. I feel bad. I feel bad watching the Panthers. It reminds me so much of the 1-31 drought. The 1-31 drought. Like it reminds me so much of that. Look at Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield. They both leave Carolina and their careers are revived.
Right.
And Bryce Young is just melting away. Andy Dalton, you should have retired, dude. You should have retired because you do not want this Sunday coming for you.
Oh, right.
I get this line in Max Crosby for 3 hours. Sign me up, I guess, for minimum wage money.
All right, and then the Dolphins and Seattle. I think the Dolphins should really roll through this. I'm shocked Ricky went with Seattle the way he did.
I'm with Seattle.
Really?
You don't got Tua. Who's the backup there?
Huntley,
Who's the back? I think
Skylar Thompson, and Huntley.
But here's the truth. If they needed to rely on their receiving core as much as, I don't know, the Bengals, like a team like that, especially with mixing out. I mean, A-Chain, I got a bias. He's my fantasy team, but I got to tell you, that dude is a superhero. And in a deficit where you are lacking, your quarterback, you could definitely make up for it with your running game.
I just see it being more. Miami's going to move the ball. McDaniel, he's a good offensive mind. He's going to find ways to make it work with this quarterback. I think you're playing in Seattle. Seattle's stout. They don't get talked about enough with Geno, but they're just a stout overall team. Like
It's
they're
the
never
12th man. You're going to be in their territory.
Except it's the fans, and I'm going to allow that one. But I think, that's going to be a dogfight game. I don't see that being more than a one-score game.
So getting to the Ravens and the Cowboys.
I see a lot of dubs for the away teams coming up.
Going
Detroit,
with
Arizona.
We're looking at the Ravens and the Cowboys.
Excuse me.
So I definitely am going to lean on the Ravens. As somebody that wants to reluctantly pick the Ravens every time, I think what you're going to see in this battle, Ravens versus the Cowboys, is what we had all hoped the Browns should have showed up with come game one. The Ravens are going to be the better team. And if they don't come out on top, it's because they couldn't complete it in the end zone or in the red zone. They couldn't lock it down on defense, but I think it falls in their court to lose it.
I don't see Baltimore starting off 0-3. I see them pulling this one out. I think that's a good game. I think that's going to be a fun game to watch. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm with you and Ricky on that. I don't see him going 1-2. I mean 0-3. I see him being 1-2. It's going to come down to a couple last possessions in the fourth, I think.
Heck yeah. And then looking at, like you were getting at, the 49ers and the Rams, I'm kind of on the fence as well. I do think 49ers are the strong team, but they're losing. They don't have half their team right now.
Neither does LA. LA's got a lot of injuries too. Funny enough, I looked at this, so I was like, well, probably the game with the most disadvantage for both teams. Injuries, people out. I don't know, man. That's another tough one. I'm going to go with you. I'm going to go with San Francisco. I'm going to go with the franchise I think that has the best stability right now. I think defensively, I don't think anything's wrong with San Francisco in terms of injuries or strategy. I'm just curious how Purdy's going to do without his weapons. He's got no weapons. If anyone ever asked last year, he's a system guy, it's like, all right, Brock, now it's kind of a time to prove you can win without a couple of your pieces there. Because this is a tough game. This is a tough game. It's not a far drive for them, though.
That's a great point. I'll be looking forward to reconvening next week to kind of evaluate.
Because I know what Rams have. They got Stafford. You got a guy. You got a good guy.
A reliable guy.
It's like Purdy goes out there and looks like he's lost without his weapons. Boy, dude, sports media is going to eat him up next week. They're going to chew him up.
So the Chiefs are finally out of home field advantage. They're going somewhere else. They're going to Atlanta.
They're going to win.
I think so.
They're going to win. You know what? And it's like, I could bash on them with the refs all I want, but until someone starts dethroning them, it's like,
that's how it was with the Patriot dynasty.
Yeah. It's like, until, it's like, I think Atlanta's a good team. I think it's just Kansas City. Kansas City finds ways to not even just not make, to make the plays, but to not make mistakes. They don't make blunderous mistakes. And funny enough, Mahomes has had a couple bad interceptions so far this year. Still 2-0.
Right.
Still 2-0.
Jacksonville, Buffalo, if you don't walk through them, the Browns may have squeaked it out with a couple points over them. If you don't run through them, I'm going to be incredibly disappointed. I'm with Ricky on that one.
After last week, I'm making a public service announcement. Trevor Lawrence, cut your hair. The long hair era's got to end because you are better than this. You are better than this. I don't think you're winning this week because you didn't cut your hair. But cut your hair, dude, because you don't look like Trevor Lawrence of old. I think Josh is looking great.
You're not 20 anymore.
It's not even that, dude. Just cut your hair, man. The long hair era. But Brady went through so many different hair eras. Bald out when he would do bad, cut his hair, or grow it out, do better. You got to get rid of it, dog. You got to get rid of it, dog, man. The gimmick's over. The gimmick's over.
Yes.
Because I'm at the point now, I can't tell. Is Lawrence not that good of an NFL pro? In 2 years,
I think he's solid. I don't think he's your franchise carrier.
2 years ago, I was genuinely like, I think he's actually going to, Jacksonville's going to be a team. Cut your hair, dog.
It's the hair. It's the hair.
Yeah.
All right, let's do the Washington football team and the Bungholes.
Okay, Ricky, I see you going bold. Because I disagree, but going bold.
I want the Bengals to lose. I would love to see the Washington football team win. Truthfully, I'm going to go with Ricky here just because, man, the Bengals seem disheveled. They are the better team. They're missing Mixon and Higgins. That's a huge hit.
I don't know why they let him go, Mixon. I don't know why they let Mixon go.
Yeah.
I would have fought to keep Mixon.
Oh, yeah. But again, who is running the ball for them now? Yeah,
honestly don't know.
Zach Moss.
Is that any
good? He's not bad. Zach Moss isn't bad. He came over from Buffalo.
Yeah,
exactly.
He came over from Buffalo, but he's not Mixon.
To me, I think the Commanders have a solid team. They're a good team. I think the Bengals will have to. It's kind of meet par. If they can meet par, the Bengals will win.
Yeah.
A couple bogeys, 1 or 2, they're screwed.
I have Cincinnati, like Baltimore. I don't see them going 0-3. I don't see them starting the year 0-3. They're playing a rookie quarterback. I still have Jane Daniels, though, as my offensive rookie of the year, though. And at this point, you're 2 weeks in. No other rookie has looked that good. This could be a statement game for you early in the year. Early in the year, Monday night.
So that all being said, we're going to dive into the Rethink Tank Parlay of the week. You could join us. We would suggest it because, we haven't had a track record yet, but we think we're pretty good at what we're doing here. So we all in the studio here picked one pick for the parlay this week. I am the first one on top. Derrick Henry has successfully delivered on all of my parlays leading up to this week. And I think against the Cowboys, he will be a significant figure they lean on for their running game. And of course, I mean, the guy's entire career, he's nothing but Mr. Reliable. So I went with a solid, easy 60. And that's the whole point of our parlay. We are trying to come up with something that one might have a payout, but truthfully, one that next week we think we will be able to say we succeeded in. So I went with the solid pick, Derrick Henry, to live in 60 yards or more on his rushing game. Next goes to Will. Will went with Baker Mayfield's passing touchdowns with 2 or more.
I went,
bold.
I do FanDuel. Mine's over 1.5. It's about like the same odds as yours. I think he's going to do it. I feel good about it. A green goblin right there. I see 2 green goblins. Right
personally, Kemp and Will have probably the tough. Mine's the easiest one. We're going to have a green bubble there no matter what.
See, I don't know. I don't know yet. I think those are 3 good ones. Derrick Henry, 70 rushing yards is quite a bit.
But I think the 2 is 2 touchdowns by Baker is a doable, achievable, fair bet. It's a bet.
He's had at least 2 scores each week. That's
fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. Kemp went with Alvin Kamara. What was your thought on that one?
The Saints don't win unless Alvin Kamara scores a touchdown. Let's be real. And I mean,
I'm with them on that.
I mean, the offense runs through Kamara.
Yeah,
and it's very
Alvin Kamara is bringing back his fantasy
in regards
to
it
was 4 or 5 years ago now. Like honestly,
and I just go listen. If he doesn't get in the end zone, then they lose, and they're stupid. Dennis Allen and the offensive coordinator in New Orleans is not, which leads me doesn't. Obviously, they have the most offensive any team this year.
He's going to get his touches.
He's going to
get his touches, and so is Henry. Like, they're both going to get their opportunities.
Right. And of course, it's the opposite or it's just the risk of if he's not the one to get in the end zone.
Right. He could get them the whole drive down there. It's will you get it in the end zone? Because like Kemp said, he's reliably going to get the touches. Is he going to get in the end zone? So anyway, here's our fun picks for the week. We're going to be doing this each week, so check in to see how we do. I hope this prepares you leading into your fantasy week. Hit them hard and get excited for another Sunday football. And we'll catch you next week. We go live every week. mostly live, but we're here at noon on Sundays. We also do a live show each week at 7 p.m. on Tuesdays, so join us for that. But it's across all the different platforms. I'm sure you're asking yourself, where can we find all this content in one central place? And that's at our website at www.rethinktankpodcast.com. So otherwise, guys, thank you for joining us, and we'll catch you next week. Peace.